May I call to order the meeting of the Subcommittee on MPF Schemes Amendment Ordinance 2015 Commencement Notice 2015. This is already the appointed time, and we've also got a quorum. May I call the meeting to order. The first thing to do is to elect the chairman for the subcommittee. Please nominate candidates. A valid nomination must be seconded by another member. So a nomination must be made by a member verbally and seconded by another also verbally. I nominate Christopher Joe. Do you agree? Thank you. Any other nomination? No, thank you. Then Mr. Chong Kwok Pen. Please take the chair. Good morning, members. The officials are here already, and let me introduce them to the subcommittee. We have Mr. Eddie Zhang, Deputy Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury. From the same bureau, Mr. Wendy Chong, PAS, and also Ms. Gabriella Yi, Head of the Mandatory Provident Schemes Authority, Policy Development and Research, and Ms. Emma Wong, Senior Government Counsel from DFJ. So this subcommittee is set up to consider the MPF Schemes Amendment Ordinance 2015 Commencement Notice 2015. We've got a background brief from the administration CB 1928-02, as well as the LS report from the Secretariat CB 928-03, and also Legal Services Division report. Administration, can you please walk us through the paper? I have to make a declaration. I am an incumbent member of, I'm actually the incumbent chairman of the MPF Advisory Committee. I am a non-executive director of the MPF board. Thank you. Deputy Secretary, please. Thank you, Chairman. The paper is on the MPF Amendment Ordinance 2015 Commencement Notice 2015, or the notice. In fact, it was passed on the 21st of January 2015. I mean the Amendment Ordinance. However, there are a few provisions that require the FS for FST to gazette the commencement date, and under this notice, the commencement date will be the 1st of August this year. There are 8 groups of provisions, and they can be found on page 2 of the government's paper. The first group of provisions is to allow early withdrawal of MPF accrued benefits on terminal illness ground. By terminal illness, we mean an illness certified by either a Western doctor or Chinese medicine practitioner that the person concerned has only no more than 24 months to live. And the second group of provisions To clarify the terms, permanently ceased employment or self-employment, and depart from Hong Kong permanently, because the current ordinance is rather vague, and if you leave Hong Kong permanently and yet come back for a short visit, you might commit an offense. So we are amending the provisions to avoid this. The third group of provisions is for simplifying the process for making withdrawal of MPF accrued benefits on total incapacity ground. 4, to streamline some communications procedures so as to reduce the compliance burden on trustees and employers, which will subsequently reduce the fees and charges for the whole system. 5, to clarify the definitions of permitted period and contribution day for employees and self-employed persons. And 6, allowing Committee of Estate appointed under the Mental Health Ordinance to claim MPF accrued benefits on behalf of MPF scheme members. If a person is if a scheme member is certified to be mentally ill, then Committee of Estate can then claim the accrued benefits on his behalf. Number 7. This is a minor amendment. It will allow payment of MPF accrued benefits of small balance. And lastly, we want to clarify the time frame for payment of MPF accrued benefits. The commencement notice will enable the important provisions to take effect. And there is another important amendment that is allowing the accrued benefits to be drawn in phases, and we will submit another commencement notice to the effect in 2016. Now, because this would affect the interests of accrued members, of scheme members, we should let them know that they can apply for early withdrawal of MPF accrued benefits on terminal illness ground. So we will publicize this new arrangement to doctors and relevant welfare organizations, and we will also organize talks and seminars and make use of newsletters of MPF schemes and press releases to let scheme members understand the amendments so that they can be sure of their interests. So this is my simple introduction. I welcome questions from members. Thank you. DS. The floor is open to members. Mr. Tan Ka-Piu. Thank you, Chairman. Of course, the BC sets up to consider the amendment bill, and also the Council have discussed the contents in details, and these provisions are about to commence. I have a question on D. That has come the 1st of August. There will be 8 groups of provisions starting to take effect on the 1st of August. Now you talk about reducing the compliance burden on trustees and employees by simplifying operational processes and communication. How much will this help in terms of lowering the administrative fees of schemes? Can we have some good news for the stakeholders, please? And secondly, there is another ground for early withdrawal of MPF accrued benefits. Of course, it's good news, but really no one want to do that. You said that doctor needs to give certification. What if I subsequently, or a scheme member subsequently recovers and lives for more than another 24 months? Will he be criminally liable? And if the person is so seriously ill, he would probably won't be able to work. What if he has recovered and he can join the workforce again and start open another MPF account? Will he be challenged? It's just like the scenario of someone departing Hong Kong permanently and coming back for a short visit, and he may be prosecuted for making a false affirmation. Or would there be risks? Please clarify. We believe that by simplifying the operational processes, we'll be able to reduce the compliance burden. We've only made a very rough assessment. The details can only be known after implementation. We believe the reduction will account for about 0.02% of the total assets. That is about $100 million. And under the ordinance, there must be certification by a doctor. As we all know, there can't be 100% accuracy or certainty in making a diagnosis, and therefore the doctor will not be held criminally liable. When we scrutinized the bill, members we said that it would be different if the doctor made a false declaration. All right, no criminal liability if the accrued benefits have been drawn prematurely on terminal illness ground, and the member can join the workforce again after it's recovered. But will this be? Will there be any record on this fact? Because some people think that this is also about their privacy. We will not make any record, but for people who have departed from Hong Kong permanently, we will make a record, because this option can only be made once in a person's lifetime. But for early withdrawal on terminal illness ground, it will not be recorded. Does that mean that an employee can exercise that option more than once in his lifetime? As we all know, a doctor can only make a professional judgment based on his professional knowledge, but there may be medical breakthroughs after some time. So to be reasonable, we can't say that you cannot invoke this reason again for early withdrawal, because there is no because we can't say for sure that some incurable diseases might be curable in the future. Mr. Wong Tin Kwong, the provisions have been passed in the relevant ordinance, and this bill is to, this subcommittee is to consider the commencement date. So should we be more focused in our discussion? I personally support the commencement notice, and I want these proposals to be implemented ASAP, so that those who need these new arrangements can benefit. Thank you, Chairman. Any supplements from the DS? Nothing from me. Ms. Sit Ho. Thank you. I was the one who asked for the establishment of this subcommittee. My concern is before and after the commencement of the provisions, will employees be fully aware of the impact on their interest as a result of these provisions? The DS was excellent. He asked me for my concerns before the meeting, and he included in the paper the publicity arrangements. I have something to add for leaflets. I think there should at least be 2 versions. because MPF scheme members have two types of two categories of employees. Are those who are well educated, but there are also a lot of grassroots. If you use legal jargons in the leaflets, then many grassroots employees won't be able to understand the impact of the new provisions on them. So I urge the administration to produce at least two types of leaflets, maybe one in a very pictorial form, in a form using comics or the like. And very often, people will not read these leaflets when they don't need the arrangements. They will only be eager when they really need to make use of the arrangements. So when they are in that situation, they will want to find someone to advise them on their interests. So in addition to 1820, will you set up a hotline for employees to make inquiries?
For small balances, I think you have provided for that clearly in the notice. What will be the procedure if people want to make an application for withdrawal? I'm just worried whether or not the government will have all such publicity arrangements in place so that employees can really benefit from the protection afforded to them by the ordinance. I'll ask Ms. Yi from the MPFA to answer the question. Thank you, Ms. Ho, for your suggestion. For employees with terminal diseases, we do plan to have two types of leaflets. One is simpler, the other one is more detailed. For the publicity materials, we have tried our best to avoid using legal jargons, which may be difficult to understand for the employees. So we fully understand Ms. Ho's concern. We will try our best to resort to pictorial forms to explain the steps that should be taken. Say, for example, if the employee needs to withdraw from the MPF fund, then we will clearly list the documents that will have to be submitted so that we'll be able to help the employee the best we can. And if there is any if anything should happen, the employee would like to make inquiries, we do have a hotline at the MPFA, and our employees will be happy to answer any such question. Other than our own hotline, we would also require the trustees to through their own telephone lines, or they should enhance the telephone system and train the staff so that when employees make inquiries with them, they will be able to explain to the employee whether or not they are qualified or eligible to make such applications for withdrawals. I also like to suggest that for employees suffering from terminal diseases, I hope you will also inform the medical sector, both Western doctor and traditional Chinese practitioner, that is, in a family, if you have a member who is suffering from a terminal disease, they will be very worried. They may not be able to take care of all the details. So perhaps the doctor should be trained as to how they can communicate with the patients, express their concern for the patients, and so on. So I hope the government will inform them as well about these changes, so that when the doctor, makes a diagnosis for a patient suffering from terminal diseases, he would also, inform his or her families. Yes, well, this is exactly what we will do. We will work with the, Western medical practitioners and the Chinese medical practitioners, the hospital authority, the medical social workers. We will certainly pass on such publicity materials to them. Anything further, Ms. O? Mr. Leung Yu Chung. Thank you. Question for the Permanent Secretary. in the past, whenever there were any changes to the MPF arrangements, you would normally work with trade unions, such as organizing seminars and subsidizing their events or activities to promote the MPFA. So now that we're discussing the commencement date, so will you continue to conduct similar activities to help promote the commencement date? For employees who suffer from industrial accidents, the doctor will normally ask them whether they are suffering from, injuries at work, and if so, they will be referred to the departments concerned, such as the Labor Department. Now, by the same token, when the doctor diagnosed that the patient or the worker is suffering from a terminal disease, I think the doctor should be trained to ask the person whether he is working and whether or not he has made contributions to the MPF. Otherwise, the worker may not know so much as to how the law can help them. So as Ms. Ho suggested, could the doctor be trained to ask the patients, for example, whether or not they have made contributions to the MPF? I think this will directly benefit the workers. I wonder whether or not you could do this. Thank you. The MPFA from time to time will work together with the trade unions and explain to them the rights of employees. On this particular subject, we will work with different trade unions to promote the rights which the workers are entitled to. We can certainly take this up further with Mr. Leung to see whether we can work on this together. Regarding the cooperation with doctors, we do have prepare some special leaflets for the medical sector, so that we can, tell the doctors how they can help patients who are suffering from terminal diseases, so that they can apply for withdrawal. So we can certainly consider producing some leaflets so that doctors could be, trained as to how they can make inquiries with the workers. Like the examples of work injuries. Whenever the employee is injured, then the doctor would ask whether or not he has the injury happened while he was at work, and then the doctor can refer him to the Labor Department for assistance. If unfortunately the worker is suffering from terminal illness, then the doctor should be able to ask the worker whether or not he is working and whether he has made contributions to the MPF. So I think that would be the most effective way to disseminate the message to the workers. Well, specifically, the MPFA has designed a form for the doctors to fill in. I think all along we have been working closely with the medical profession, and they've also asked us to provide them with such a form. And with this form, the doctor would definitely know that for a terminal patient, I think his illness could be one reason for him to apply for early withdrawal of his accrued benefits. Terminal illness, I think the doctors at public hospitals would refer such cases to the medical social worker to see whether or not the social worker would need to contact the family, and so such channels should be able to help the workers concerned. I note Mr. Leung's concern. We will communicate further with the medical profession, because we will need to have meetings with them before we finalize that form. Certainly. I think it takes some time for the profession to adjust. For example, when we attend to a doctor, very often the doctor or the nurse would ask us whether we have bought any medical insurance schemes. So I think likewise this would be the same for the MPF arrangements. I think Ms. Sito made a very good suggestion. if we could implement all these measures on August the 1st, and if we approve the commencement notice, could we invite the trustees? Because they have the information about the MPF account holders. So we could perhaps disseminate the publicity pamphlets to the contributors to the MPF through the trustees, so that we can inform them of the amendments to the ordinance. For example, information relating to entitlement when the worker is terminally ill, and also that they are entitled to make withdrawals by installment. So I think we can explain all these details and to remind them that there are such changes in the MPF scheme. I think this is a very good idea. Because the MPFA wouldn't know how to identify the contributors, but the trustees would have the information. So if they were to send any information to the contributors or scheme members, I think they can also, distribute such publicity pamphlets to the scheme members. Thank you. We'll certainly consider Mr. Wong's suggestion. We'll go back and talk to the trustees and put forward this request to them. All along, we have worked very well with them, and we would ask them to inform the scheme members about whatever changes there are in the law, or and also about any changes to the entitlements of the workers. Just now, the MPFA told us that they already have 2 types of leaflets. Could they give us a copy of both for reference? Fine. Yeah, no problem. But at the moment, we're still drafting the leaflets. Perhaps I can provide them to Ms. Hall when they're ready. Any further questions? I just have a simple one. Permanent Secretary, you intend to implement these measures in early 2016, but there is no specific date. When would you be able to decide on that date? We're talking about early 2016. That is in respect of withdrawal by installment, because we need to talk to the trustees so that they will be able to enhance the system. So far, our target is that the measures will be implemented in early 2016. And so there should be a notice for LegCo. There will be a separate notice for LegCo in early 2016. All right, if there are no further questions, I'd like to ask whether members think that we need to conduct a public hearing. No? If we do not need to hold a public hearing, then the commencement notice will come into effect on August 1st, and the legislative timetable is this Friday, that we can report to the House this Friday at the earliest, and notice for CSA will be the 10th of June, and then the deadline is the 16th of June. Well, that will clash with the debate on political reform. So this could be, postponed. So I think we can deal with it very quickly. Shouldn't take, long. I think we can leave it to the government, but it can be postponed, yes. I'm sure. No, I don't think we should postpone it. Let's get it. So if members do not prefer any postponement, then I think we can leave it to the government to work it out, because there shouldn't be any disputes. I would like to the government to go through the content of the commencement notice again. Chairman, could you repeat your request again? I think the committee would like to look at the commencement notice. Could we ask the government to walk through the provisions of the commencement notice? And then we would, after we've done that, we would have completed the scrutiny of the notice. Yes, if we come to the commencement notice, I believe you already have this table. There are many figures, and you'll find that there are 8 categories, but in order to save time, I think we've divided them into 8 groups, and they are the contents of the commencement notice. I think you can compare this with paragraph 3 of the paper, and we welcome any questions from members. I think we can also walk through them one by one. For example, for the commencement notice, this is under Section 1, Bracket 2 of the MPF Scheme Amendment Ordinance 2015, and then Chairman, do I need to read them out one by one? If not, I hope members can just glance through A to G. So the commencement notice will be made by Professor K.K. Chen, the Secretary for Economic Services and the Treasury. I think we've all gone through the figures, and I don't think there's any major problems. A question regarding the timetable. Could the chairman repeat that once again?
Yes, very simply. In response to Mr. Wong's question, there's a notice to be passed by negative vetting. If there is no objection, the notice will come into effect on the 8th of July. Okay. And the chairman reported to the House Committee on the 6th of June. Yes, the 6th of June. And if there is any amendment, the deadline for giving notice is the 10th of June, and the motion will be passed in LegCo on the 17th. Yes. Yes, the 17th of June is the deadline for giving for moving amendments, because that is the deadline for the 28th scrutiny period. If there is no objection, then the date for scrutinizing this is the 25th of June. Not Ms. Wong Ting Kwong. Speaker is off mic. As the chairman said, the deadline of the scrutiny period is the 17th of June 2015. Using this as the benchmark, the House Committee has to receive a report on this Friday, on the 5th of June, and the deadline for giving notice of motion to amend the notice is the 10th of June. All right, the 5th of June is just 2 days away, and is a bit rush. So is subject to members and the chairman's approval, and you may want to extend the scrutiny period to the 8th of July. Using this as the basis, The date for reporting to the House Committee is the 26th of June, and the deadline for giving notice of amendment is the 30th of June 2015. Mr. Wong Ting Kwong said that the notice should be passed ASAP. If we go by that, then we should report to the House Committee on the day after tomorrow. And if members want more time, then we can extend the period to the 26th of June. But members think that there shouldn't be any problem with this, and they'd rather act quickly. Well, if you're worried that we'll use this to filibuster, you don't have to worry, because we can only speak on this motion once each. We all want this to take effect ASAP. So I think even for the record, only members of the Labour Party plus Mr. Pan Xiaoping and the chairman may speak on this only once each. Okay, then it should be the 17th of June. Thank you very much.